Hey Pisces, Pisces rising. Let's take a look at May 2025 and the astrology and how it may impact your zodiac. So let's kick off with May the 4th because we have Pluto going retrograde. So Pluto will go retrograde in the sign of Aquarius and it will impact your 12th house. Now, the thing about retrogrades is they happen every year. It's nothing to stress about. It's nothing to fear because it's just normal. It happens every year and it's just the normal cycle of life and how these transits impact us. Now, it won't impact everyone the same way. It'll impact those that have stronger, earlier Aquarius energy or even really strong early Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio. Pluto goes retrograde at 3 degrees of Aquarius, and then it will go direct on October the 13th and go direct at 1 degree of Aquarius. So it's really just at the beginning stages and really just settling in. And when Pluto goes retrograde, its energy is even more intense because retrogrades are about getting more deeper and getting more going more inwards, delving and diving deeper into self and soul, and that's already what Pluto is all about. So when it's retrograde, the energy just amplifies, really. And with Pluto being in the 12th house, there's just a lot of things that perhaps you are navigating through in terms of self, karma, past lives, emotions, sensitivity. You can even get more esoteric with this. The 12th house is a very secluded, isolated area of life, and it's also the non-physical. It's the non-physical realm. So it has so many different interpretations and it can manifest so differently depending on your chart and what else is going on in your life and in the transits. But overall, with Pluto retrograde, diving more deeper into the subconscious, diving more deeper into your underworld, fears, phobias, where you feel isolated, where there is karma that needs to be resolved or balanced, healed, or transformed. That is going to be a major theme with Pluto retrograde, and especially for the 12th house. And because Pluto is in Aquarius, it has more to do to push you towards freedom, independence, and liberation, and also higher versions of self. Okay? Now let's move on. May the 10th, Mercury enters Taurus. So with Mercury moving into Taurus, it's going to impact your third house. So Mercury is very happy in the third house because the third house is all about communication, and so is Mercury. So with Mercury in Taurus, it has more of a grounded approach, more of a graceful approach when it comes to expressing oneself, communication, networking, your ideas and visions and how you express yourself can also be a little eccentric with the third house because Mercury is very happy here, even though Taurus is more grounded and laid back. But the third house energy, and especially as it gets closer to Uranus, it can get really exciting. So if you're working on a project that requires a lot of reading, writing, requires a lot of your intellect or even your creativity, even if it requires a lot of your research and analyzing skills, this could be a great time. However, as soon as Mercury enters Taurus, it will be making a challenging aspect with Pluto and then also Mars. So you got to be careful of not getting into any type of ego battles or power struggles or saying things that, you can't take back, because it can be a very triggering time, like a very triggering time. So just be mindful of that. But that also kind of gives you an opportunity to learn more about yourself, shadows, and then do that shadow work and in transformation. But other than that, Mercury is very happy in the third house and really supports and encourages you to learn, read, write, supports you in projects. There could also be some travel that occurs that is very expansive and expands you in so many different ways. Now let's get into May the 12th. We have a full moon in Scorpio. So this full moon in Scorpio is going to be impacting your third and ninth house axis. So I just spoke a bit about the third house. It's the mind, learning. It's about communication and also like your daily environment, daily travels. Can also have to do with like daily activities as well. Then when we look at the ninth house, we're looking at learning and researching, but on a much grand scale. We're looking at more higher learning, higher education, philosophies. We're looking at more long distance travels, foreign places, cultures. The ninth house is usually known as expanding your horizons, expanding your mind, expanding the crown chakra. So it can be a very spiritually activating time as well. Although there is so much emotion running wild here, especially when the moon is in an opposition with Uranus. Like there could be a lot of unexpected things that happen, a lot of surprises, shocks, things just happening, and you're not even in control of them because this energy can sometimes be so unstable and all over the place. So things that you weren't expecting, unpredictability, changes, major, dramatic, drastic changes occurring that are very emotional. The emotions are very heightened. Emotions are running very strong here. This could be a time where you're also very much in tune with your intuition, and you can feel this strong psychic energy around you. You can feel the emotion brewing up in you. I mean, being a Pisces dominant, you're already a water sign, so you're probably used to this energy already. But during this time frame, it's just much more heightened, and it can really impact you, especially because you're a water sign, but also it could impact your mind. You know, when we're looking at the third house, we're looking at the mind, we're looking at the mental energy. And although the third and the ninth house have more to do with like moving around and traveling and learning, you can learn a lot in terms of self. You can learn a lot about emotions. You can learn a lot about the inner realm. I mean, the moon is the inner self and the sun is the outer self, and they both require, the feminine and the masculine energies both require balance and harmony and equilibrium for them to work together harmoniously. So you can really dive deeper into topics like emotions and spirituality with the influence of the Scorpio moon, perhaps even like mysticism and all the esoteric stuff. And there is a lot of change. There's a lot of things that are pushing you to change. This could be a change in your daily environment, like your day-to-day travels. This could be just like a mentality shift. This could even be a change in terms of like what you believe in, your faith, your philosophies that you abide by, religion, spirituality, spiritual practices or beliefs. This could be like a change in travel, if that's something you have planned or something you're planning. Like there could be this dramatic change that occurs, and no matter how much you want to be in control of it, because the Scorpio and Taurus energy makes us want to be more controlling, with that Uranus influence, you know, the more you try to hold on, the more things will start to just get out of hand. So something to really take into consideration with this full moon is letting go of wanting to be a control freak and letting things divinely play out. So yeah, that's one of the major themes with this. And for you, like I said, it's the third and ninth house. So the mind, mentality, communication, travel, beliefs, religion, philosophy, spirituality. It's all about wisdom here, wisdom. But full moons have to do with releasing, so we're releasing a lot as well. We're releasing a lot of emotional karma, chaos, just things that are not serving us. Full moons always support us in letting go, detoxing, purging, releasing, and transforming. Now I want to move on to Saturn. Now, Saturn will be changing signs from Pisces into Aries. Now, it will go retrograde this year, but this is a bit of a sneak peek, and we can expect what's to come with this transit when it's fully in effect. So May the 24th, Saturn enters Aries, which means it will impact your second house. Now, Neptune is already in Aries as I speak. Saturn will also move into Aries, impacting the second house of self-worth, finances, resources, what you own. This is a material realm. This is mundane stuff, okay, that is very important to everybody. And with you, there's a lot of focus here, a lot of focus on this area of life. And with this area of life and Saturn being here and also Neptune, you know, there could be a lot of rose-tinted glasses that are shattered, a lot of false layers that are peeled off or are dissolving, and anything you're romanticizing or glamorizing, you know, you're having to see the truth of everything. And for some, it could be like a shock. For some, it could be difficult to comprehend. For some, you know, it can be A lot, but there is a lot of duties. There's a lot of demands with Saturn. There's a lot of responsibilities that you have to take care of with Saturn. A lot of accountability that you also have to take with Saturn. And in this area of life requires more commitment, more focus, more structure. And things for a while can perhaps even seem like they're not fully intact, or you feel like you're not in control of everything and there's a lot of pressure. But Saturn is really going to mature you, push you to greatness, help you accumulate more wisdom, more maturity in this area of life, and really finding your true self-worth, sense of self-worth in this area of life. And this is also going to be very profound during the new moon that occurs in Gemini. So the sun changes sign. So on May the 20th, it goes into Gemini. May the 25th, we have Mercury in Gemini. And then May the 26th, we have the new moon in Gemini at 6 degrees. So let's get into that. The new moon in Gemini will be impacting your 4th house of home, family, your personal life. This also rules over structure, stability, safety, where you go to retreat, rejuvenate. And also you can get really esoteric with this area of life and get into like past lives and karma and all that mystical stuff. So this is a positive new moon in Gemini. There is a lot of positivity. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter in Gemini. So it's bringing a lot of light, bringing a lot of expansion, a lot of energy, a lot of movements, a lot of developments. And Gemini is a moving energy. It likes to move around, and it's a very light-hearted energy as well. So there could be some changes that occur here, positive changes. There could be some positive developments that occur. But also we have Saturn and Neptune in a conjunction in your 2nd house, where that can bring or add some pressure or some frustration or tension, where you kind of want to be free or independent or do your thing. But Saturn is kind of like has you contained, or kind of has your freedom or independence on a leash, where it's kind of making you abide by its rules and really confront what you've been escaping, or confront the reality of things, especially associated with the 2nd house. So there could be tension there, but nonetheless, you are being pushed, like I said, to greatness, to the next version of self, to really accumulate true self-worth. And that's going to be a positive in the long term, in the long run. So Pisces rising, have an incredible month ahead, and I will speak with you soon.